I should be able to employ it in a fairly efficient manner within the actual campaign of the game. That, as you might know, actually allows for the use of the Spitfire. If you go to the third section of it, and that is the Cuban DLC, because apparently some of these planes were actually sent to the Russian front by the British and were employed, fairly successful I've heard, by the Russian aviation. It should be an interesting play, I think. Also an occasion to learn a bit about this plane. I've actually wrote an article on my blog about it the other day. You might have seen it, or maybe you haven't, because it's written in Italian like the rest of the website itself. But I'd like to refer for a minute to it while we're flying the plane, and also maybe show the videos I posted within the article that allow for you to know a lot about the plane. Hi Young, thank you for commenting. I wish I could read your kind comment, but unfortunately I don't know the language. You're welcome in any case. It's very much appreciated. Let's go to the career. So as you know, the campaign for this game is all structured around this dynamically generated career, and that's true for each of the 3 scenarios we currently have on Steam. The fourth one is coming out in a few days, and I'll be there. I can assure you I've been waiting for the best part of 1 year. Yes, I forgot one thing. I need to reduce the image of the camera, otherwise you won't be able to see the game as well. Okay, this goes here, and this goes like this. Good thing I remembered. So, of course, to fly the Spitfire we had to pick the Soviet Union side, and I don't know in what actual airfield they were stationed, but I guess it won't be too long to find them. Krasnovelskaya. No, maybe from here. Let's start for the second section at least, so the war will be more at its height. Okay, this is the P2. I'd like to fly the P2 too this morning. The other day we wasn't able to because the server actually reset itself just as soon as I was taking off. It was quite a disappointment. And I guess at this point we better play than single player. Let's see if we can find these Spitfires. They should be here. I've read about it on Google. It says there is a campaign, a career mode that actually allows for you to fly the Spitfire. Here it is. Here it is. You're going to start in Krasnodar. That's a bit far from the front, I believe. Let's see if there is anything better. But I guess not. There weren't so many Spitfire on the Eastern Front. Okay, so let's go with this. So once more, is a Soviet-educated pilot. Well, not that we care so much. In any case, it's a Soviet pilot. Maybe that's historical. I believe they were actually flown by Russian pilots, these planes. Everything is alright. On this front, of course. On this front, because as you know, this is the actual iconic plane from the Battle of Britain. That's the more British plane in existence, actually, together with the Hurricane, which was produced in much higher numbers, I've heard. And maybe even, in the opinion of many ace pilots, the better plane, despite what the propaganda led us to believe. This is something I've been trying to understand the last week, even during writing my article, which I thought I was telling you about. I believe much of the fame the Spitfire enjoyed was due to propaganda. They probably pushed that plane as the absolute symbol of British technological superiority because it looks so good. It's incredibly cool to see. It has these elliptic wings that give it a line that I've never seen in any other plane from the time. It's so cool to see that they actually probably tended to push it more. Let's see what we have. Okay, I didn't select. No, I made a mistake. I wanted to be. No, I'm sorry, I love to restart because I want to be commander. Otherwise, we're going to play a lot of boring missions. I should talk less and be more careful until we take off. Wait a second. No, like this, we're going to have to escort bombers. That takes ages. Okay, so restart. It's going to take a second. Now we know what I have to select. We said it was just about here. Where? Yak, lag. A20, Il-2, no, these are the American ones. P39, come on. PA2, lag 5. Yak 7B. What did I say? Here it is. No, Spitfire. Yeah, I forgot the very essential step. I had to be commander from the beginning because we want to cheat. I'm also trouble from the Volga now, that's preferable. I guess that's more scary than an educated Russian pilot. I didn't select now. This time I didn't select the second phase of the battle. It's good, I don't care. Just so long as you let me play. Here it comes. You might also have noticed now I have employed the much superior technology of a single lamp shining on me from above, so you finally be able to see me despite the shitty weather we're having in Italy these days. Because I also thought I'm going to stream during the day, I won't need a lamp, but since it's always raining, I actually do. And now we're all set on that regard. Okay, now I finally can choose my missions. And let's see what the guy is giving me. It's an escort ground attack and escort bombers. Well, we might as well escort the ground attack planes. I guess this will take less. And I won't, of course, be able... Well, it's a short flight, yeah, it won't take long before getting to the action. And unfortunately, in escort missions, you can't move around the waypoints, but that's all good. I want infinite ammo, as always. Unlimited ammo, because otherwise it's going to be a waste of time when we're out of ammo, yet we still have targets in the air. So here we are, and finally starting up. Now it's giving us pictures of tanks, because what's better to get you in the mood of flying a plane than a blasted German Tiger that I guess you would hope to destroy since we're flying a Spitfire. Here it comes. You can only see the loading screen when you're in VR if you open the overlay, otherwise what you get is a terrible crossed eye image that actually hurts your eyes, so you better activate the overlay when it loads. I guess it shows that this game wasn't originally made for VR. Oops. Okay. And this is our flight path and our mission. Now, about the configuration of the plane, this is an essential part. I hadn't actually understood it. But what you're selecting here is not whether you have the Merlin engine or not, because of course the Merlin engine is synonymous to the Spitfire. You can't have a Spitfire without a Merlin engine. It's actually a different version that was, from what I've read, better for low altitude operations. And probably we better mount it for this mission, because we're escorting ground attack planes, so it makes sense. Then you get the mirror, which of course you get, because why wouldn't you? It's a useful little optional. And you have to escort the ground attack planes. Okay, it's a simple mission, simple enough. And here we are inside the cabin of the much lauded Spitfire. Now the radiator is maneuver automatic this time, because in campaign I actually use automatic engine management. It simplifies matters quite a bit. Let's lower the volume, yeah, like this. These are the ground escort planes. And look at the wires, yeah, in the control lever. Now, the main thing about the Spitfire, which you may already know, but I very stupidly didn't, is that the engine is actually in line. I was speaking about this the other day, the fact that most engines from World War II of airplanes were of the radial kind, that is with the pistons all radiating from the center. That makes much more sense for a plane, because they're easier to maintain. They're also engines that are easier to keep cool. So since these were very much supercharged, very powerful engines, it made for more reliable planes. That's one of the crucial parts, because the Spitfire wasn't that reliable at all. It was a plane that was meant for defense. It didn't have much autonomy also. It took off, fought the Germans above the White Cliffs of Dover and such, and then went back to its airfield. So it didn't have to be easy to maintain. It didn't have to have a longer stretch of sky to cover. It just took off, fought and went back. And this was the reason also for its perceived slowness. Now, the Merlin was a powerful engine, but due to the aerodynamics configuration of this plane, the Spitfire itself wasn't that fast, and that's historical, I believe. Despite the fact that it uses some interesting points and you can clearly see it in the way the exhaust from the engine is shaped. You see how it has these little, how do you call it, they're like tubes coming out from the front of the plane and actually turn 90 degrees and go back. You can see them here too. This actually Spitfire, that's incredible. You can see a video of it on my blog. I'm going to show you later, or maybe even now if the track is too long while we head for the front. This engine, it consumes so much air that when at full power, fire came out of these things. And actually they were angled back because they played more power, like 100 horsepower more. And this was something they found out later. It wasn't the first version of the plane, but it made it far more efficient in a dogfight because it allowed it to accelerate faster. About this, there's also another point that I wrote about in the blog, and that's the fact we actually seen it happen. This plane had a big problem that was due to its method of injection for the fuel. The fuel now, it didn't have, I don't remember the term, but it was a system of injection that meant that when you went for a steep dive, as you so often do in a dogfight, look at this, we're actually slower than the Il-2s. It's shut off. The engine completely shut off, at least in the first versions of the Spitfire, which I believe this is one example. These weren't the later Spitfire. And so the engine shut off, and the German pilots learned about it. And what they did was, during that dogfight, they took these steep dives that actually caused enormous problems for the British pilots during the Battle of Britain. That is until an extremely brilliant engineer, a woman engineer in fact, that I believe was named Miss Tilly or something like that. She was also very young, less than 30 years of age, invented a system that was a smaller valve that doesn't allow for too much fuel to pass through this the carburetor, so it didn't stall, and that made a lot of difference until that is they switched to an automatic injection like the German planes later in the war. And that system was actually called in a rather prosaic way, maybe not very appropriate, but that's also part of the British way of life. It was called Miss Tilly's orifice, because of course it was an orifice and it was from a woman, so that's something you tend to expect from young pilot military types. They're not very respectful. And this is what comes to my mind at the moment. It was also, as we were speaking about, an especially agile plane, mostly at altitude, due to these wings that were able to generate such incredible lift. Despite that, it wasn't fast. But not so slow, actually. But perhaps this refers more to the later version of the airplane, because as I was reading, that's another important part. At the beginning of the Battle of Britain, the British, and probably also during the Eastern Front battles, the British didn't have a fuel that was as good as the German one, and that limited much the performance of the Spitfire. It was, if I'm not mistaken, an about 70-80 octane fuel, jet fuel, not jet, well, airplane fuel. There's actually a Merlin engine also for jets. It's named the same. I believe it's a way of honoring the much praised plane from World War II. In any case, only when they introduced the better engine with 150 octanes later in the war, then the Spitfire really showed its colors, and these were able to go up to 2,000 horsepower at that point. But that's definitely not the version of plane you're flying here in Sturmovik. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to. You would certainly be able to chase the German planes, which apparently you're not. Also, the main rival of this plane, the German 109 version E, E, the fifth letter of the alphabet, we say A in Italian. He also had an inline engine, but it was inverted. That's something that I've seen sometimes in planes from World War II, because if you invert the engine, that is with the piston facing down, it becomes much easier to maintain, but that wasn't deployed in the Spitfire. I don't know the reason. But the reason was good, because this engine really made a difference. The Merlin engine actually had an incredible strong point, and that's the fact that it was used in many different types of planes. Most of these engines actually weren't produced for the Spitfire or the Hurricane, but rather for the Lancaster bomber, the one that did the famous dam runs with bouncing bombs. I don't know if you've seen it. There was even a movie was made about it, and it's probably the inspiration for the trench run in Star Wars. They had this crazy mission, very British in its conception, where a couple of Lancaster actually went flying at low altitude above German dams and released these bouncing bombs that were the only way for the bombs to hit the lower part of the dam and damage it, despite the presence of protective nets in front of it. I also write an article about it. By now I've written articles about most of planes of World War II. And as I was saying, well, the Lancaster was a really fearsome bomber. Mostly because of its resilience. It was very hard to bring down, because the Merlin engines, even when damaged, still flew very well. And that's another strong suit of the Spitfire as well, which I guess we'll be able to see now, or soon enough, when we finally get to the enemy, as it tends to take some time in this game. But since I'm time compressing, I better not go and show you the videos on the blog yet, maybe next mission. These are Sturmoviks, you see, they're very slow, but apparently not so much more than the Spitfire we're flying today. Now above the fine city of somewhere, Russia. No, we're actually in Ukraine, I believe. Mingrelskaya. This is the Caucasus campaign, in any case, Battle of Kuban. So I don't know the name of the river, nor do we especially care. Let's put the plane in autopilot. That's another anachronistic aspect we can employ. And what else is there to say about the Spitfire? Well, not much comes to mind at this moment. I guess I'd have to refer to the blog, but as I said, I better not at this time, just in case the enemy actually does show up. Hi Keith, thank you for liking my post. Yes, as you see, we're now in the Ukraine Peninsula. This is the Black Sea. It's actually the same map we have in DCS, the other modern time flight simulation. It's always been an hot point, a zone of war throughout the entire 20th century. Yeah, I say 19 because it's the 1900, you see. But of course, that's not the way it works. There's something there. I see some labels, still not colored. It was also very heavily armed. It had 4 machine guns and 2 cannons. It's a very powerful plane, and that's another reason the planes tended to favor it, compared to the Hurricane, which had a somewhat more limited armament. Look at the smoke. What is it? These are gun emplacements, okay, friendly. That makes them Soviet, I guess. Finally, we're getting to the action. I was out of things to say about this plane. It's another city that seems to be experiencing combat. We're almost at the objective. Hi Kitty, yeah, I do indeed. Thank you for commenting. It's a great simulator. I also enjoy War Thunder actually, but this is probably the best simulation, much more realistic. A bit problematic to play multiplayer because you end up flying for long stretches of nothing, as we are doing now, but at least we can employ time compression. I guess it makes sense, it's realistic. Here's the enemy. Let's see what these are. There's 2 of them above the horizon, so it was a good idea to actually go and scout ahead. Let's hope I don't mess up as my first engagement comes up. Now 4 kilometers away. Now let's keep the labels. Here are the ground troops, I guess the Sturmoviks are to bomb these. And these are also HS-129, I don't know that plane, I guess it's a bomber. Usually if it's not a BF-109, it's a bomber. They didn't employ many different types of planes, the Germans during this part of the war. Yeah, it looks big. I have to show you. There was one video I saw yesterday with actually preserved and restored Spitfires going against the Focke-Wulf, and it looked like a dogfight from this game. You have to see it, it's incredibly cool. They were actually chasing one another. Now there won't be much chasing here. These are big things. They cannot escape. Look at the power of this plane. Look, look. I completely obliterated it with a single salvo. It's incredibly well armed, the Spitfire. After all, it is named after something that's supposed to Spitfire. I guess a dragon. This one isn't going to explode as easily, so I better do another pass. You can't have them all, I guess. Friedrich von Dietz. Well, it's already going down, I guess. This sound is also another technological innovation of the Spitfire. It actually had a stalling siren. I believe it's one of the first planes in history to employ that. Probably was putting it exactly because it was kind of a twitchy plane, not the easiest one to fly. But that's not very much reflected in the game. It actually flies very well. It wants to stay in there, so to say. So I don't know if that's to be believed. I see one of its engines has already stopped. Well, I guess I can go back to the guys I'm supposed to escort, because that one isn't going very far now. Let's accelerate time again. I wish time compression worked correctly in this game. Unfortunately, you can't accelerate more than ×2, even if it says ×8. They should be doing the run now. Yeah, judging by the way they're clustered in the map. Here they are. Then why did I have the objective over there? That's a lot of firepower, all these Sturmoviks. Imagine all the bombs and rockets they're carrying. They're supposed to actually bomb the city. Looks like that. I was also slightly damaged, I guess, by fire from the bomber. So it did have a rear gunner. Well, it's going to take a while. This thing is so freaking slow. Yeah, they go down. The Sturmoviks actually had a particular strategy I read about attacking ground targets. They overflew them and then went back, coming towards the friendly front. That's because when you're hitting armored vehicles, that is like tanks and such, you actually want to hit them from behind, especially with cannons, so the armor is thinner, and it also allowed for actual identification and a better idea of how they're placed. But these guys, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, they're doing exactly what I was speaking about. Okay, now they're turning around, I believe. We're also still employing time compression, that's why we don't have sound at the moment. I guess it makes sense. Here is the column of enemy vehicles. I might as well strafe them. I guess I'll do some damage with the Spitfire's guns, while possibly not putting myself in danger. Let's try and attack the anti-air gun, probably also softer and more easy to destroy. Not to mention annoying for the guys we're supposed to protect. Now he's pointing at me, I guess that's to be expected. Oh, there's two of them. No, I don't think I got him. I'll go for another pass, of course. I wonder if this is the version of the Sturmovik that has the rear gun. 1942. It should, because the Kuban is a later scenario of the war, but I'm not sure. Look how that thing moves. Now it's by the road. If indeed it is the same. No, it's not. I guess so. Well, I should be this guy now. No, missed again. It's not easy to strafe in this thing, because of its twitchiness, as I was saying. Is twitchiness an actual English word, I wonder? He's pointing at me. No, these are the guys I was shooting at before. Not the right targets, right? I don't see any. There's actually a lot of anti-air in this area. Now if they shoot me, this might be quite anger-inducing. No, just bouncing on the ground. The one on the right seems armored. I don't think I can destroy that thing. Maybe it did some damage, but certainly didn't destroy it. It seems to be an armored troop carrier, the one the Germans had with the trucks behind and wheels forward. I don't know its name, never known it. But it's practically in every World War II game since forever. From Call of Duty onward. Not sure I can damage them. Maybe they're too armored for these guns, after all. There are 2 planes shot down and nothing on the ground. Well, it's not my job to destroy things on the ground, but I might always as well try it. These are all the 3 Spitfires, and the Sturmovik, of course, doing its job. And it's not attacking the... no, actually is. Well, you see, when you have rockets, it makes all the difference in the world. If I had rockets, that guy definitely would be still alive. Let's go for the other one. Might as well keep ourselves occupied, since we have unlimited ammo and all. I might even try and cheat a little by slowing down time, Matrix style. And like Neo from the Matrix, so I can aim better and see if this can actually be destroyed. Yeah, they can. So if you slow down the time, they can be destroyed. No longer sure though. It seemed to appear again. No longer sure. You have to be careful with these moments with my head. The other day actually hurt my neck a little. It hurt quite a bit by the evening time. You have to make all these sort of unnatural moments. So I think I sort of injured myself like a pilot from the time. I guess they did have indeed such problems. Even worse maybe because the cabin space is so cramped. You certainly couldn't go like this like I do. You had to actually strain you even more. Not to mention the fact that you were strapped with safety belts. Look at this seat. I had a look at the seat. It's horrible. Looks like one of these things you employ to carry around stuff. How's it named? We say carriola in Italiano. These I guess is the ammo for the signal gun. There's a lot of details in these cabins. It's a strong suit of the game. Unfortunately, we no longer have things in there to shoot at. That's very disappointing for a Spitfire pilot. But I guess it will change eventually. Let's go again for the isolated gun. Maybe I slow down time again. That is, if the game actually shows me where it is. Apparently it's not intention to. I wonder what all these things in the city are. Probably not tanks. Yeah, you see how it is, the level of detail, it sucks. When you zoom, they disappear. You try to look better, and you don't see them. They should really try and fix it. Now they remain. I don't know what these things are supposed to be. It's trucks. It's trucks parked like that right by the trees, okay. But cheating a little with the slowdown, we destroyed one of the trucks. And I better not pull the stick too much, because the pilot seems to be so fragile. Lest he blacks out suddenly, and we're going to regret that, I can tell you. Okay, the ground attack planes seem to be on their way back. I scarcely doubt they actually fired all the munitions. Apparently, they seem to be on different orders, so we might as well follow them. Makes no sense to remain here and risk it. Let's see if the mission is completed. No, it's in progress because they have to land before it's considered completed. Yeah, otherwise I just complete the mission when in friendly territory, and it would say mission accomplished, and we go on. But since it's like this, I might as well go back to the airfield and actually land this thing. So I no longer seem to have to be trailing smoke, strangely enough. Did it fix itself? I thought I was hit by the German plane earlier, but apparently I'm wrong, because I'm no longer leaking fuel or whatever that was. That's even better. Should also check out where the fuel is indicated in this plane. I don't know about it. Probably this one. It says full. That's a climb indicator. Emergency. Oxygen supply. Ah, that's for the oxygen. Okay. That's why I didn't understand what it was. Okay, put it in auto leveling mode. Did I put it in I should also move the chat window a little, because it's positioned in a way that perfectly covers all the technical indicators, and that's not good. Actually dangerous. Where is the... Should be... Here it is. Move it a bit more to the right. I still be able to read what you guys write, but also read what the game tells me about the airplane. Or so I hope. Let's see if it shows up like this. Well, not so much. Maybe I disabled the HUD though. Yeah, I disabled the HUD, but it's still covering it. So I actually have to raise it. Okay, I'll do it while we're going back to base. Should be rather uneventful. And I'll do it with this slider here. No, this slider here, man. No, this moves it right and left. Yeah, cool. Like this. Like this. I still be able to read you, yeah. And now I can see, yeah, auto level off, first engine throttle. I crashed my plane yesterday because of it, because I wasn't able to know that the temperature was too high. Yeah, you're supposed to look at the instrument, but who does it in a game? Maybe someone does it, but it's very helpful in any case to be able to read the technical messages. So while waiting for the planes to come back, I'll also show you the videos I was speaking about earlier, and I show you from my very own blog. We're checking now and then the progressions going. This is my article about the Merlin engine, and look at what the Spitfire does. It's incredible. When it's taking off, when you're warming up the engine, it actually does Spitfire. Isn't that cool? When I saw it the first time, I said, no, that's not possible. That cannot be. It's bound to be defective. Well, in fact, it wasn't at all. Then when you're at altitude, I guess the wind takes care of it. No, it's even, it gets better when you actually up your RPMs. But these things, these outlets, were part of the secret of the plane, because it made it go faster. It was 100 horsepower watt, being angled back like that. It's an incredible plane. It's so cool to see with its shape. What's this? It's an advert for World of Tanks. We're not doing tanks now, man. And that looks kind of similar to what we're flying today. Probably even the same version of the Spitfire. Almost at base. No, not yet. No, I no longer see the planes I'm supposed to escort, but I guess we're in friendly territory, so that's not too big of a problem. Let's go back a second and check on them in any case, you never know. Don't pull the stick too much. You see, now I can read it. We have all the time in the world. These things are so freaking slow. I always hated escort missions, as all gamers are wont to. And yet, they did constitute a big part of a fighter's job in World War II, so I guess it's immersive. and realistic and all that. Why is this guy flying so lower than all the others? Maybe he was damaged. Doesn't look so. Igor Martinov, yeah, he was indeed. He's losing fuel or something. Doesn't seem to have the rear gunner though. Maybe it's the earliest version of the Sturmovik. You always follow the stray sheep. Not all the others which are already okay, but the one that is more in danger. Well, danger from nothing actually, because we're in full combat, in full friendly territory. Put it in auto level again. I'll also show you the other video I was speaking about. Should have it in the playlist. If it opens, here it is. The Focke-Wulf 190 against the Spitfire. This looks like something out of the multiplayer mode on the Berloga server. We've been playing it. You can actually see very easily how you're supposed to identify these planes when they're at a distance, because the Focke-Wulf has these very squarish wings. I believe it's that one. No. Yeah, that's the Focke-Wulf. When in flight and you look it from above or below, it's very apparent, while the wings of the Spitfire are so elliptical in shape. Look at this beauty. These are actual current images of planes that are being fully restored and are in workable condition. I believe with the original engine, because what can you put inside that kind of airframe? It's so instrumental to the whole project of the plane that you cannot simply substitute it with a newer engine. Well, let's go to the good part. I guess they already had landed at this point. It's just like the game. It's very well modeled. Imagine the kind of emotion you can feel as a real pilot when you're on board that thing like this. Where is the part where they actually chase one another? Wait a second, should be about midway of the video. It's an actual real tail chase. Here it is. This looks like what you see when you play multiplayer of this game, and you try to understand which is the friend, which is the enemy. It's a huge part of World War II air combat, very difficult sometimes. And that's just like the game. You look at the color of the engine coal. Ciao Davide, grazie per aver cliccato mi piace. The color, this yellow it has in front of the color really gives it out. It tells you it's a German plane. But also the shape of the wings. You see, when the plane is right ahead of you and turning away, that's way more difficult, because you cannot see the teeth. You just see the tail and now its shape, and that looks very similar. I guess I better go now. 1 second and check how the mission is progressing, lest we have to play this Borefest again. We're almost at the airport. Let's see if it's completed. No, in progress. Until they land, it won't be completed. That's the bane of the escort mission. I'll try and skip those when possible, but the first day as a commander was 2 escort missions. I guess I skipped the second one, but if I skip them both, I'd get an angry letter from the command. There's such incredible learning tools, this kind of games, for war technology. I don't think I would have been so interested in the topic if not for video games. Where is that guy? Here he is. The stray sheep of the bunch. He doesn't have a name, strangely enough. He did earlier. Am I mistaken? The others do. Probably you only read the name if you go close to him. Almost there now. Should be able to see it. The fine city of Krasnodar. Sounds like something out of Skyrim. which was after all based after Russia among other things. Hi Tyler, thank you for liking my post. Leave me a comment if you feel like it. This is an amazing game. Use the airfield. That's airfield, I guess. I won't be able to land until these things... Well, no, I could already land, then use time compression and wait for them to land too, so the mission is completed. I might as well go ahead and land. This is a friendly formation, I hope. We're in full friendly territory. Yeah, they also have their lights on. I don't know if I'm able to land a Spitfire actually. This is the first time I'm going to try it. Well, except for the crash landings during the quick action dogfight. It's another formation of bombers. No, it's Yak 7Bs. I spoke too early. Slowing down a little, but not by much, since this thing is already slow. Where is the speed indicator? Huh, good question. I believe it's this, but how do you read it? It's a bit late to worry about that. Ah, you hear the siren. Okay, so maybe not lower the speed so much. Now I almost crashed into the yak. That would have been crazy. But it's totally on him. Totally on him, man. Yeah, I better not slow down because I'm already so slow. If I slow more, I'm going to go down like a rock. I also lower my flats, so we increase the... how is it said in English? La portanza dell'aereo. It's weird to stay in there. And finally... Well, this isn't the actual runway, but I guess it will do. The runway started later. No, I pulled the stick too much. I'm utilizing the external view because I don't know very well the landing characteristics of the plane. It seems to be okay. I didn't even break the propeller. Now after a couple of bounces, which is the trademark of an inefficient plane pilot, I'm slowing down finally by braking. This brakes with the lever like the Russian planes. It doesn't have the pedals that brake the plane itself. But it does have a differential, I've read, because when you're pulling the lever, it's controlled by the pedals themselves. You push the right pedal, you brake right, and so on. Well, no, you brake left for the purpose of going right, I guess. Or is it the other way? No, it's the other way. So, is the mission completed? No. What do I have to do? I just accelerate it. Accelerate for as long as it needs for the actual Sturmoviks to go and land. By judging by the map, it shouldn't take too long. We're on the other side of town. It's a bit silly, they could have let me complete it already. I can follow their progress here in any case. There's a little trick to zooming the map. You zoom the game first, then open the map, and the map stays zoomed like that. It's actually kind of a bug on a workaround, because then when you disable the map, you stay zoomed as well, until you press the zoom key again. It's too bad you cannot zoom freely in VR like you can when you're playing without VR. That's a fairly stupid thing. It's also in DCS. I don't know why they make it like this. Now we're going at maximum time compression. So I don't know what's taking them. What's the hold up? Maybe I should remove myself from the airfield just in case. I mean from the runway, just in case they're going to land here. And actually they are, so I better. Imagine if I failed the mission because the actual ground attack plane crashed into me. That would suck. Move this thing. Also as you can see, the rear wheel doesn't lock in the Spitfire. This makes for a difficult takeoff experience, or even the taxiing. Hi Nix, welcome back. I haven't seen you yesterday. Yeah, this 993 needs a HOTAS. It's not like War Thunder. I don't think you can play it very efficiently with keyboard. Although it does have an arcade mode. An arcade mode that actually the Italian guy with which I was playing driving games yesterday told me he likes it, so it mustn't be too bad. From what I remember having read at the time when I bought the game, they actually say it's a more realistic arcade mode, so to say, compared to War Thunder, because there's an AI behind it that flies the plane in your place while you move the mouse, so it doesn't employ cheat of any kind to make it fly in the intended way. Return to base. What do you mean return to base? I'm landed at base. Maybe this wasn't my base. Well, in any case, you can complete the mission at this point. Doesn't make a difference, so I'm finishing it. I'm not taking off again. I think so. I'm sorry, I can no longer play War Thunder. I tried this morning too. It doesn't run. It doesn't want to run. Yeah, mission accomplished. There is nothing I can do. I believe it's because of the new anti-chat system they put in the game. I don't remember the name. It's a Chinese program, I believe. And that makes it completely unrunnable for me. It works on my laptop, mind you. I was off-site on Saturday. Didn't stream, of course, because I didn't have good internet. And I was playing War Thunder on my laptop. Alright, it works perfectly well. Too bad my laptop, of course, cannot run VR. And on this system there is nothing you can do. So, I guess it's on Gaijins. The Gaijin is the developer of War Thunder, you see. I cannot play it for as long as they do not fix it. I don't want to play a bomber escort mission. Let's put David Rotzloff on the job. I am, after all, the commander. Look at the rain. It's raining pretty badly. Good thing I put a lamp over there, otherwise you'd be completely unable to see me. I'd be a black square by now. Okay. And now we go to the second day. How did the escort mission go? Well, pretty well. They downed 2 planes and they didn't die, so that's all good. Let's go to the second day of our campaign. Yeah, easy anti-chat, it's got like a bear logo, a teddy bear logo, and I hate it. I hate the blasted teddy bear because it doesn't let me play my favorite World War II game. I actually probably like War Thunder more than this. It's more fun online, and online is what really matters. But this has its qualities. The graphics better, most of all because War Thunder by now is pretty old. Okay, we have an escort ground attack planes. Again, I'm not playing the same mission 2 times in a row. And a free hunt. The free hunt is usually less important from a strategic standpoint, but more fun because you can encounter many kind of different situations. We're also going to fly into, I believe a true commander wouldn't put himself in such a job. But since it's more fun... it's raining there too. I believe your country is pretty rainy, isn't it? I think so. Italy usually isn't in this time of the year, but it's been a terrible season up to now. For the whole peninsula, actually, not just where I live. Starting up. Yeah, let's put the overlay. Okay, here's our flight path. It's more spaced out. We're supposed to patrol. And about modification, take them both. We're going to fly at a low altitude, I guess. Okay, so this is a free hunting mission. You just fly to the points and hope to encounter the enemy. I will make so that we encounter it, even if I have to fly, of course. So, employing maximum time compression for as soon as I can. I could have also moved the waypoint here, but it wasn't really necessary. I don't know how you could encounter one the other day. In enduring confrontation. I never piloted the helicopters in War Thunder. I guess it must be fun. I could actually unlock one, I believe, at the point where I am in the game, but it would cost me dearly, like all my credits that I have left. And I'd actually save them for the next jets, so I've been debating about it. I've only played recently helicopters within not War Thunder, DCS, the very realistic modern flight simulation. But it's incredibly difficult. In that game, at least, even an helicopter that is supposed to be easy to fly, such as the K-50, how's it said in English, from Russia, the one with the counter-rotating rotors. It's supposed to be an easy-to-fly helicopter, but it isn't easy at all. I cannot even keep the blasted thing in the air for extended periods. Here's some enemy. Still at maximum time compression, you see, it's not like we stalled. jet engines in our Spitfire. That would have been quite a sight. I wonder if there is an hypothetical scenario where the war got to that point. Let's try and intercept. Well, more like chase that formation. So I wonder, are they actually that hard to pilot in War Thunder 2? That would be nice to know. I guess I'll eventually try. Here is the enemy. 5 kilometers now. Cannot escape my thundering Spitfire. How he flies, you mean it? Ah, okay, so I understood correctly. Yeah, it's difficult. I can imagine. Well, it is in Moss Games, so it must be in War Thunder too. But besides, it's a bit silly to play an helicopter in a battle of planes, because in the end, what are you going to do? You stand there and try to shoot at guys that pass over you. I clipped it. Huh, I love to look at it. I love to look at the scene, I want to see it. These are the BF-109. G2. G version is not the one with the inline engine. I believe it should be the radial engine. Was made by Daimler-Benz. It was the main rival of the Merlin, of the Spitfires. Woo! Coming straight at me. Well, this is going to be quite a battle. We're like 2 on 5. Maybe I should have thought about it earlier. If we're going to refly this mission, I guess I won't chase these guys. There's so many more than us. Then again, they don't have an actual player among their groups, so maybe it's winnable. Let's see how it goes. Starting with Mr. Vogt. Already shooting at me, that's not a good sign. Put some holes in my right wing. No, I don't think this is winnable, but let's try it. We make for a fairly cool scene of me being destroyed. Well, maybe you can find some tutorials over YouTube, I believe. I learn a lot from tutorials, especially for DCS that is so complex. In any case, there is always a moment when you fly military helicopters where it seems to get a mind of its own. I don't know about it. Maybe it's the Russian Ki-50 that has so many autopilots that have to keep it in there. But there is one point, after 1 or 2 passes above the enemy, where the helicopter starts to go whichever way, and you can do nothing about it. It just keeps turning on place, and I don't know how to fix it yet, even despite all the tutorials I've looked. While the actual weapon systems, I'm speaking about a modern helicopter, you see the Ki-50 is sort of a contemporary to the American Apache. The weapon systems are kinda easy to employ. You just point the laser and shoot the missiles. So it's fun in that regard. It's like playing a sniper class in FPS. But then actually keeping in flight and maneuvering in a way that doesn't put you in danger, that's incredibly difficult. Never managed to. Whereas when you ground attack in a modern setting with something like an American A-10, it's much more similar to this. You point at the enemy and go. Okay, that one's definitely going down. You can fly with one wing. Unless you're a modern B-2 stat bomber, I guess. The one that is delta shaped and is actually one huge wing, so it's flying actually with one wing. Woo! Here he comes again! This cold guy is really angry, I tell you. Oh, I better not pull the stick too much. Yes, my wingman doing absolutely nothing, as AI-controlled wingmen usually are wont to do. I point at that one. That's not the cold guy. Still, it's his friend, so he has to die. Why am I not shooting? Did the guns jam? That's too bad. If the guns didn't jam or whatever happened, I would have killed him. I sure hope I didn't put limited ammo. I don't think so. Well, I'm not up. The app doesn't open, so... here it is. No, I'm full of ammo, so I don't know why they shoot. Now it's too late, and also he got me. Just a bit. So now I have holes in both of my wings. That's not the best case scenario. First engine damaged. Are we above friendly territory? No, we're not. It says primary objective completed. I guess I better return to friendly territory. So if my engine is out, at least I can crash land in friendly territory and not be captured by the enemy. That would completely fuck our campaign even before I get to the second mission. As it happened the other day, by the way. Yeah, the engine is not very well off now. Also, the sound is a bit strange. Let's see if it's putting itself behind me. Apparently not. I will try and ask for cover from my friend. No, this changes the formation. Cover me. I don't know if it does something better. At this, no, these are tracers shooting me again. It's not a good situation. At least I took down one first. I would suck at this point to be destroyed by the other. Let's see if it's so silly. And not die. This sucks. Why did he have to come and crash into me? That's the most stupid way to die you can possibly imagine. All because this guy couldn't close his throttle. Why does it always end like this? At least if he had shot me, I'd say, okay, that's fair game, but coming and crashing into me. It's not like I was maneuvering in such a crazy way. Well, good thing it didn't take long for us to meet the enemy in this mission. I guess I better stick to the flight path this time, lest we encounter another impossible dogfighting scenario. Okay. Increasing time compression at once, so we don't waste too much time. Now turning at the second waypoint. That's preposterous. It's like when you're playing racing games and they send you spiraling out of the curve because they couldn't brake. He actually couldn't brake. Maybe I should put stoplights on this plane. Such behavior. Okay, we're already almost at the waypoint. It's even possible I don't see the formation again, because this game is kind of randomized. Now I already see something over there. You can see further in external view, I don't know why. Here they are. Should I? Well, it's hard to resist, to tell the truth. After all, it could have gone very differently. I can only see 3 of them this time. No, I cannot resist, I want to try the dogfight again. I'll also tell my wingmate to go and attack. Maybe we'll have more initiative that way. Attack nearest target. And point at the leftmost one that seems kinda isolated. After all, this is the spirit of simulation game. Try and overcome all difficulties. If you just turn the other way, it's not going to make you grow as a pilot. Yeah, there's only 3 of them this time. That's good. That's good, I guess. Well, I'm putting some time compression. Otherwise, we'll never reach now. The Spitfire is low, after all. We're now going towards friendly territory. This is good also in case my engine has problems. You can always land a plane with damaged engine, after all it's not an helicopter. But if it's in enemy territory, that's going to cost you dearly. Let's not meet it head on. Already the pilot seems to be giving out because he's so badly trained, you see. So the fact that he doesn't... Ah, okay, he completely exploded me. He sucks. Okay, this time I guess I won't chase them. I got exploded. That's rare. I've never seen a Spitfire explode like this. I guess they should call it the Spit explosion fire or something like that. What the hell, man? Yeah, these kind of missions tend to be hard because you have a wing of only 2 planes and everyone concentrates on you. So disregard everything I said. This time we're trying to wing it, so to say, and just live another day to the next mission. Otherwise, we'll only play this until the very last second of the stream, and that's not actually desirable in any kind or manner. Besides, these weren't even part of my objectives. They were actually going the other way. Why did it explode like that? Maybe it hit the fuel tank. I don't know where the fuel tank is on the Spitfire. Here they are. This time we even got earlier to the place. No, there's only 2 of them. No, there's 3. Is this game employing adaptive difficulty level? Let them go away. Unless that is they come back and hunt me. That's also a possibility. Ah yes, indeed they do. But wait a second. Are they all 3 of them coming? So you have to win this difficult battle. No, it turned again. It's not looking for trouble any more than me. I just follow the flight path. Besides, you don't have to do actually anything else. It says primary mission completed already. I follow the flight path thoroughly though. Let's see if I can find some more manageable prey. These guys are going their way. Cannot engage. Well, you're not supposed to engage. Who told you to engage? Yeah, it did. Right below the wing and under the seat. Trust needs to know about it. Right below the wing. Maybe I can see it. Let's try a standard view. Nix, do you know about it? I don't know. It's strange. What's that squarish thing to the right that has a different one on the left? It's not mirrored, quite strangely. They seem like air intakes, but why are there 2 of them and so shaped so different from one another? So the fuel tank, you cannot see it. It's inside the airframe probably. Here is the peninsula at the end of the Caucasus region with the little isthmus going to the other side. Let's turn around. And now, flying 179 kilometers back to base. I guess I'll just conclude the mission as soon as we pass the front line. That is, unless I meet an enemy. I'm feeling a little guilty for not having pursued these guys. After all, it was a free hunt mission. Perhaps I can see the fuel tank from the inside. Apparently not. Shut open radiator flap. That's an artificial horizon. Temperature indicators for the radiator. The radiator is the water radiator, I guess, because the other is the oil radiator, which is automatic on this plane, as far as I know. That's the booster, automatically controlled. And here's the fuel indicator, actually. So what was I looking at earlier? That's the oxygen indicator, okay. And that one, I wouldn't know. It's internal, yeah. I guess as much. That's a kind of a mystery. Maybe we should also check a video about the Spitfire cockpit. Ah, here's another enemy. I guess I'll try and intercept this one. Let's hope I'm more lucky this time. I'll also tell my wingmate, no, not adjust, flight leader orders, attack nearest air target. We're really nothing because we're using time compression, but it's actually being told to attack. There are 2, well, more manageable. It's even, we're 2 on 2. And they're Focke-Wulf, so it's just like the YouTube videos we looked at. It's the natural enemy of the Spitfire. They were very often compared to one another. Look at the name of this guy. That's a more powerful plane. Already I black out. It's got a more powerful engine though. It's much faster. But I should be able to out-turn it. They seem to be bothering our ground troops that cannot stand. Revenge is coming, my friends. A little less less aggressive. It's definitely aware of my presence, yet it's not doing much about it. Haha, you don't like it. Manfred. His name like the Red Baron, but not as good as his namesake. Ah yes, that's why you know the X-ray is a really cool function. I believe there is a way to activate even in game, or do I remember non-correctly? Maybe it was another game. It's very thoroughly modeled, completely different from something like World of Tanks, where you just have the external plates of armor that make a difference. But World of Tanks is less of a simulation and more of a game, in any case. Strategic, tactical, complex in its own right, but not very realistic. You know, this game also has tanks. I've never analyzed much of it. There is even a DLC you can buy that is specialized in tanks. Could be interesting for the purpose of VR most of all, but there's a lot of keys to bound. I never got around to do it. Yeah, you see, it's faster than me. I knew about it. Schlabendroff is so fast because his name is longer. The longer your name is, the faster you are. In Germany, that's the rule. So I guess if he doesn't want to fight, I cannot do much about it. In any case, I completed my objective. Ah, and here are the 3 guys from before. I guess there's no escaping from these guys. No, now there are 4 of them, so maybe it's another formation. Chasing one lonely Spitfire. If I go after them, I'm almost assuredly going to regret it. And yet, it's always the stray ships that get you. No, I'll have to make a try. They're also much higher and faster than me, but they are BF. Jeez, I don't think these are much faster than the Spitfire. This one seems to be maneuvering in a dangerous way. Still, he doesn't attack, okay. There's so many of them. Are we above friendly territory? Well, kinda. I could try and glide if they damage my engine. Let's hope they don't just explode me like before. Missed it. No, I'll keep following the same one. Seems more interesting. Still nothing. But slowly gaining. Look how the Spitfire turns. Very fast. Very nimble. I guess this finish him. Oh, apparently not. Come on, man. Yeah, now it's losing a lot of fuel. Still doesn't go down though. I'm firing all to my heart's content. I do have infinite ammo. Okay, it's gone now. Yeah, but these are very stupid. They're just AIs. Not that many War Thunder pilots are actually more intelligent than this. That's not the one I should have done. I sure hope it isn't my wingmate, because now I would be 1 on 3, and that's extremely problematic, and I fear that's what I saw. That was my wingmate on the ground. No, this is ending like before. I should try and escape, but I guess it will be hard now. It's completely impossible. How can I fight all these? Look at how many they are. I'm on set up a PC. Okay, thank you, Nix. See you soon. See you soon. And I better run it. Now I increase the tank pressure, but that only seems to make me faster. Doesn't actually make me. Let's go back above friendly territory at least. There is some anti-air there. I'm followed by like half of the German Luftwaffe at the moment. But the GF, the G2s aren't as fast as the FV. Never mind that. That's extremely bad. I no longer control the plane. What is this? Was I actually killed as a pilot? Try and finish the mission before crashing to the ground. Let's see if the game is so good. No, it was too late. Well, I guess this means we're going to change mode now. I'm not going to play this thing once again. Too bad because it was completed. I guess as much. Yeah, there were too many. I shouldn't have chased it. I told you. Too bad. I want to play a ground attack plane. Let's try and do that. After a very short pause, I'll be back in a second. Just be patient a second. Where is it? Torno subito. Be right. And here we are. Okay, yeah, that's something I remember from other times. You better not chase the enemy in free-hunt missions, it's extremely dangerous. Not the first time my campaign ends like that. Well, it didn't end actually, because I restarted the mission so we can proceed the next time. So that the guy that was captured, there's no need to keep him here. Also this one I also played very shortly. I would like now to do the ground attack thing on multiplayer, because even if in multiplayer sometimes you struggle to find the enemy, since we're going to attack ground objectives, it doesn't matter as much. Or at least so I hope. Let's try. Let's hope the server doesn't reset itself as soon as I start, as it did the other time. It took me like 5 minutes to start the plane, and then once I was in the air, it restarted. For Spitfire to fight a 109, you will have to drain their energy. I see. Yes. Yes, that's good advice. Unfortunately, there were like 6 of them. I don't know if even that would have been enough. That sucked. This is a new server. Combat box by Red Flight. I don't know how it works. Battle over Indomen. I guess it's one of the scenarios from the new DLC that is coming out in a few days. But I should be able to join. I just won't be able to fly the new planes. It seems indeed to work. They were fast. They were very fast. I noticed that when I tried to run away. They were fast enough in any case. But is the G version of the 109 the one with the inline engine, or does it have a radial engine? I don't remember about it. Maybe you know. I'll go and check on Wikipedia otherwise. Well, after the battle, that is. Let's see if this time I can start and actually reach the target with a bomber. That's the kind of scene I'd like to see, the ship sinking, while our plane proudly flies through. It's taking its time. I believe it's even downloading the details of the mission, since I've never played this mode. Now maybe I did once. I drained them, then killed them. The Hurricane Mark IIB is another one with the Merlin engine, right? That engine really was awesome. You drain and then kill him. You're like Shansung from Mortal Kombat, I guess. He used to drain the enemy's soul before possessing them or transforming into themselves. Come on, start this thing. A bit of brag, yeah, that's good. I guess that's warranted. Okay, here's the scenario. I mean, and this is indeed set in Germany, so it's a good, it's a nice change of pace. Let's go to. Well, I'd like to fly the PA2, but I'm starting to wonder: are we going to have PA2s in this scenario? No, but of course we do have the Spitfires, also the American P-39. Yeah, there is no bomber at all. I wanted to bomb things. This one, A-20B. I don't know this plane. Will I be able to fly it, I wonder? Let's see how it's made. Ah, okay. Well, it's a fairly run-of-the-mill bomber, I guess. It's also got rockets, that's interesting. What bomber is it, really? I don't think I've ever flown it. Let's see if I can manage. It's a bit of a gamble, I guess. They all fly the same, it's a video game after all. Ah, no, wait. I've been in this thing before. It's got two fairly powerful engines. What is this? This place has been attacked. There's a destroyed bomber right in front of me. Let's try and just start the engine, which I'll do with the button here. Well, the engines, plural. Brakes are on the pedals, I guess. Okay. I put the mixture at max. I'll open a bit the throttle just to be sure. It usually helps with starting the engine. It's going to start from the leftmost one, I guess. Also, I'd like to take a look from the outside, but I don't think I can use it on this server. It's a fully realistic one. I can go to the rear gun. There's another one apparently here. It's very strange with VR. It seems like your head is laying on the ground. But why does it start the right engine first? You not usually start left first. Well, it calls it first engine, so it didn't skip one or anything like that. I'm keeping the brakes pushed because I opened the throttle a little. Now right engine is running. It should start left. Indeed it does. It does it inverted. I usually start the left engine first. Ah, it's an American bomber. So that's why it looks kinda similar to the P-39 with its instrument layout. Yeah, it's reflex. Very nice. Nice gun sight indeed. Let's see if it's starting to move. I don't see why it shouldn't, unless that is, it's got a parking brake, and I guess that's the case. I believe I have parking brake down on B. Apparently not. Maybe comma, neither. Then I'll have to go and look at it. Let's see how to release the parking brake. Basic options. No, key mapping. Plane controls. Air brake, attack siren, radio receiver, switch, eject. Plane control. Well, it's a plane control. What else can it be? AI autopilot, rudder trim, aileron, razor trimmers. That's the air brake, attack siren. That the siren is for the Stuka, you see. Wheel brakes will be around here. Wheel brakes is B, the one I press. Wheel parking brakes. Left shift B. Okay. Left shift B. Doing nothing. We just have to increase then. Let's also raise propeller feathering. Does nothing. RPM. RPM was at 0. Well, that's bound to cause problems. Okay, we figure it out. No, but no, stop it. Ah, this is bad. Oh, you have to, yes, I love to turn like this. I should be able to turn. It's got differential. Yeah, luckily it did. That is, unless I hit it But remove the debris from the blasted runway. Okay, no, in fact, royally. Unless this thing doesn't have solidity to it. Of course it does. Ciao. No, I can do nothing at all. This thing doesn't have a rear gear. Vabbè, però at least we did understand how the plane was. We'll be able to start it quickly now. What's this sound? Now tell me, mission will finish in 1 second. But what is this? Every time I come and play the bombers, the mission finishes in like... That's crazy, man. What am I, cursed? I didn't check the weapons. It probably doesn't have the full suite of bombs. In any case, if the mission is ending, it doesn't make much of a difference. Mission will finish in 2 seconds, 1 second. So, does the mission finish or what? No, maybe it's a timer for what you as a player are actually doing. No, the weapons were still there. So I'll have to somehow maneuver around that debris. Seems a bit difficult actually. I opened the throttle too much too soon earlier. Now while it starts the engines, mixture, okay, a bit of throttle. Well, I better not put it with a bit of throttle if I'm going to do something else. I'd like to see how the actual A20B was on YouTube. Of course I get all videos from video games. Maybe there's someone from a historical society or something like that. It's giving me a car. Probably it's the name of the engine from the Mazda RX-7, I guess. First engine valve, okay, it's starting. This guy has a little model of the plane. He calls it God's plane, so I guess it's good. That makes it good, doesn't it? First engine. No, yeah, the first engine is this one. Starting up. Let's go and check how it's going. The first engine start. No, I'm raising the throttle. I'm keeping the brake pressed. And I'm also raising the RPMs. It's that lever over there, I guess. Now it's at max. And I'm braking right actually. And pulling the rudder completely to the right. Let's hope for the best. I have nothing this time on this side. My god, there's so little space for such a big plane. Okay, we managed it. Good, good. Now turn left, of course, where I see a big open field. It's so hard taking off in bombers. Like this should do, I guess. Open this throttle. Emergency mode. With all the power of the 2 engines of the A20B, we should soon be able to take off. Well, there are some trees in front of us that worry me a little, to be honest. But we're already at 100 per hour. Now 120. It's enough, it's already taking off. It is powerful, that's for sure. Raise the gear. You see, it took a little of time, but in the end, we managed. So, by looking at the map, I look at nothing, because as you see, this is one of the few realistic servers, which means we don't have any kind of GPS. This makes for a really interesting navigation experience, you'd see, at least they gave me a compass. So, I'm going to turn now to east, because we know we started at Weinstrecht, there in the top left of the map, and I'll try and head for the enemy's defenses. That will be also difficult, because this map doesn't have a coast being set in Germany. You can usually easily navigate by the coast, but not having it, we'll have to look at the actual cities and try to understand where they are, so I'll fly higher. This is the view from the rear gunner, and this is the view from the bomb, I guess. You see nothing from there. So I should be able to see that town over there. How's it named? Completely unreadable. I'll have to zoom on the map itself. Check the coal flats. Ah, yeah, the coal flats. The coal flats is something you have to set in this plane. Now I'm remembering, but I don't remember the key. I'll go and check it. Look how they control it. the control lever is shaky because you have to. No, the cold flaps maybe they were automatic, and they depended on the RPMs themselves. If I well remember, I already piloted this thing. If you lower the RPMs a bit and you put the engine in continuous mode, the cold flaps is not. They stay the same. That's worrisome. I'll have to Google it. Let's be a completely new pilot and see. 20B cold shaking. Did I write cold? No. Hurry up, man. Scatter shake. Yeah, not the real one. In the game. I can't remember which one. You have to close the inlet or the outer flows completely. Starting to flight in the air was fine. My default controls for radiator, so it's a radiator thing. The radiator is here, but they don't work indeed, like it said. And now I'm starting to remember, it had two settings, one for the inlet and one for the outlet. It's probably under plane engine. Look at it shading. Hurry up. Here it is. Inlet cold shutter control. Inlet cold shutter control. Outlet cold shutting control. Why is it set to anything? Okay. Let's say shutter control. Should have an axis for it, I guess. Radiator shutters control. You also have it for two engines. It's not going down in any case, the plane. Yeah, you can set an axis to it. But let's bound it to both controls. Both the inlet for engine 1, engine 2, inlet, outlet. Maybe it will be enough. Let's see. But they set it inverted, that's not good. No, it's not going to work. They should work out the same way. Key mapping. What happened? It happened that the mission actually completed. And this sucks. Yeah, it got completed. As I said, the server was actually ending its run of the mission. Again, our luck gets us. What the hell? I cannot seem to play bomber. 37 seconds to start. So I guess I'll have time to check how the inlet and outlet thing works. Out 20B cold shaking. Inlet. Outlet control. I just wanted to fly a P2. Inlet versus outlet cold flaps. Perhaps you are overcooling the oil. The cold flaps cause a lot of turbulence when open, so it's the cold flap, more than 30%. This shakes the elevator, which shapes the flame. Also, the inlet flaps are for the intercooler on the back of the plane. Need to be open at least to keep carb inlet at temp. Below 35%. Just set it to 50 and forget about it. The inlet, okay, the inlet to 50, and the outlet you open or close in base of how much it's shaking. Now I'm starting to understand. Now we'll have to set the controls accordingly. The outlets are what matter for the shaking. Loading the server again. Sorry for trying to figure it out only now, but actually I wanted to fly another plane, but apparently it's not possible in this scenario. Now I absolutely want the same plane to fly though. Let's hope it's there. Here it is, A20B. Start. So while it starts the engine, we're going to go and check the controls. That's also part of the beauty of simulation games, when you're starting to understand new things. It's always can't have a connection, but that's just like the other day. You start to understand something complex, and it actually begins to make sense. Ah, that's the Wing Liberty server, that's more familiar. Now I want to play the A20B though. Did they shut off their computer? They don't want to make me play bombers. It's like with War Thunder where nothing works. So the inlet you set at 50%, the outlet you have to set in flight. I'll put the outlets flaps on the same axis as I normally use for the radiator, because you don't have a normal radiator on this plane, and have a couple of buttons on the keyboard for the outlet, the inlet I mean flaps, if the game lets me play at last. It's now loading. It was a design flaw. It caused yawing. And of course we're going to the Soviet side once more. We'll be able to bomb something, I promise, before the end of the stream. Load up. Here it is. We're at the starting points. Let's see if one closer to the action actually has the A20B. Yes, indeed it does. And of course check the weapons, because he wants you to take off without bombs for some reason. What are these? Bigger bombs. 4 bigger bombs, 4 smaller bombs, 8 smaller bombs. Okay, that sounds good. Bomb tamer default, and that's it. Start. Now. Good thing this time I didn't start flying the bomber when the time in the stream was almost over, otherwise we would not have done anything. Okay, starting the engines. While the engines start, I'll go and configure the keys accordingly. I need to control inlet flaps and outlet flaps for both engines, and it's done here. So the important one is the outlet actually, so I'll put it on the axis. They have to be on the same, yes, without the minus. The outlet, we'll make the inlet later. So for engine 1 and for engine 2 without the minus. Perfect. And now inlet core shuttles control. Let's see if I can just use the cursor arrows. Indeed I can. So I press the bottom one first. Engine 1, inlet outlet. Should look the same, hopefully. Cursor up, cursor down. Yes. Accept. And now it should work. Also I hope. Yeah, this controls the inlet core shuttles. I'll put it at 20 I guess. And this controls the outlet. The inlet. Okay, the inlet is set, just leave it at 50. I'll trust the unknown Steam forums guy. Let's hope I don't regret it. And raise our RPMs, of course, that's done with the white lever, and open our throttle. And I just go straight. There is no obstacle on the course this time. There is no need to unlock the parking brakes as I thought earlier. Using a bit of differential to turn myself on the other side of the trees. We also have the aid to navigation in this map. This is much better. We're now playing pretty realistically in any case, it's not like the campaign from before. And I should be able to take it just about now, a little bit above 100 km per hour. Now 120, 30, yeah, we're already in the air. Raising the gear. Shouldn't shake already because I closed partially, no, it's shaking, okay. Open the outlet. Open the outlet. If you open the outlet, it still shakes. If you close the outlet, it shakes, then I guess it's controlled also by the inlet. Now if all this thing doesn't work, I don't want to think what else to do. Well, it shakes a bit less. Maybe it's normal for it to shake a bit. Check cold flaps. I'm checking it, man. Close it completely for 1 second, even if it's going to overheat. Yeah, if you close them completely, it's fixed. So the problem is actually the cold flaps. Don't put the engine in emergency mode though. Maybe I'll have to lower the RPMs. Yeah, RPMs 83. Throttle 75. Now it's not shaking, but the cold flaps are completely closed. That's not going to cut it. I'll put the outlet at 30. And the inlet, it said 50. Let's try. No, 50 is too much. It shakes at 50. Oh my god, this airplane is terrible. Terribly complex in any case. I'll head for the enemy airfield. Usually has a bit of targets in it. Well, I guess it's supposed to shake a little. No, apparently not, because it's warning me. Well, then close the flaps. 19, 11, 10. Close the other ones. 5%. They're practically closed like this. Well, let's see if it overheats. I'm going to open them. I guess that's worse than some shaking. Well, they are indeed pretty big, impressive engines. That's the coal intake, I guess. And the outlet, here it is. It's below. I better turn this way, otherwise my VR tracking tends to get a little haywire. They are indeed huge engines. I guess some difficulty in managing them is kinda warranted. Good thing I don't have to get myself crazy trying to navigate like on the other server. I tell you, it's really terrible when you have no kind of aid. It completely transforms the game. It's no longer a game at that point, more like a chore. Let's see how the rear turrets work. Okay, this is the topmost one. Look at the movement. That's cool. You have no kind of sight, so I guess I better leave it in automatic because that's practically unusable in VR. And you can also look down. This is cute. You can actually try to use it, but it doesn't work in VR. You have to align your eye to the iron side while moving. No, it's completely impossible. Adjust fuel mixture. Okay. I'll go to increase fuel mixture just as long as this doesn't put the engine in emergency mode. Apparently it doesn't anymore. We're heading straight for the enemy airfield. There's a lot to keep track of in these bigger planes, as you can see. One thing I don't understand, don't they have a bomber's view? There should be one. Maybe it's V key. Yeah, here it is. Well, that would be kinda hard to do while we're piloting. Normally you, in single player, you let the plane fly itself while you try and use the bomb. You have a lot of things to set here. Your altitude. Yeah, you see, based on your altitude it modifies the way it points. View direction. Try doing that while keeping also the plane in the air. It's completely impossible. We're going to drop the bombs by side. That's probably for multi-crew. You actually have multi-crew in this game, unlike War Thunder. You can have more players inside one plane. So the bomb doors are open like this. Yeah. I wonder if I can see them open. Let's see it. Maybe from this view. No, because probably they're under the wings and so. No, I'm now closing them while I don't see it. So we open the bomb doors when we're close to the targets and bomb away. There should be also a bomb dropping mode. I don't want to drop them all at once. That would suck actually. Weapon controls. Let's check it while we get to the front. Bomb safety, bomb there. Bomb doors toggle. Launch rockets. Safety switch. Bomb. Where is it? Shoot person weapon. You can even shoot with a gun if you feel like. You adjustment reset. Oh, I don't see it. Bomb dropping mode should be something like that. Bomb there. Bomb safety. Fire weapon groups. That's impossible. It's not there. Well, let's hope it drops in a correct manner because I cannot find the control. But now I remember, I have it on the joystick. It's on the left, the rightmost. Yeah, here it is. Bomb mode pair. I suddenly remember. Bomb drop all. No, drop a single bomb for each press of the button. Almost at the airfield. Should be able to see it now. Let's see. The enemy airfield. The German airfield. There's also a train. I should have enough bomb for both, I guess. Should be a bit to the right. Where are you, enemy airfield? Come to me. It's not that. It's not overheating, so I guess the inlet and outlets are actually meant to be kept so low for both engines. Yeah, that's airfield. I guess I'll bomb the hangars, seems like the more juicy target. Open the bomb doors. The bomb doors. Bomb doors open. I won't try to use the gun sight. I'm too afraid of doing it wrong. I'd rather just dive bomb these things. Adjust the second engine fuel mixture. They're both at 100%. I don't know what it's speaking about. That's flak, okay. After all, I am about the enemy objective. Only one hangar left. How many bombs do you reckon I should drop? 2 or 3. 2 or 3 bombs on the hangar. Also, these smaller things there could be more fragile. But there's a single hangar standing, we cannot let it there. Leave it there. Let's go for a dive, I'll do it at the last moment. Like just about now. And now drop. Drop 2 bombs. Let's see how it goes. Ah, well, I hit it. I also destroyed it. That's good. Shall we go for another pass? I would. Let's say. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Maybe on the smaller targets. They seem to have hit my wing. Well, it's a hardy plane. First engine damage. No, I guess then I won't do another pass. I'll go for the train. Let's hope the train is still standing. The first engine is damaged. Now, the first engine should be the one on the right, strangely enough. I say strangely because the shot up wing is actually the left one. I don't know. I want to hit the train in any case. I want to bag myself on enemy train. Look at the smoking. The smoking hangar we took out. I wish I didn't have to strain my neck so much. Well, I'm trailing quite a bit of smoke actually from the first engine. But this thing has two, so maybe I should open the flaps a little more, at least unless this thing starts shaking like mad. I'm opening the outlet first, so it can cool itself a little more. And also I'll open the other one. No, I switch maybe. Okay. The inlet. Put the inlet at. No, 10% already shakes. 2%. You can't go over 2%. It starts to shake. That's quite a design flaw. I wouldn't call it a minor design flaw. And you have not one but 2 methods of cooling the engines, both of which actually make the plane shake. That's not good design by any stretch of the imagination. Let's hope no players already destroyed the train. That would suck for us. Look at the RPMs from the first engine. So the first engine is actually the leftmost one. You see, it's like I said. You usually start the engine on the left first. I don't know why it does it the other way around. Pressure is stable. RPMs on the other end do fluctuate quite a bit. Still, it's running. Besides, it was clear they hit me on the left side. You can see it, the wing is damaged. Now flying straight for the train. We're finally able to bomb something. I cannot believe it. If there is no train, I will go back to the airfield and try to finish it, or finish myself in the proceedings. Let's hope it goes the first way rather than the second. Now, what kind of train are we looking for? Stop at a station? Maybe moving? That would be quite a good question to have answered. Should be able to spot it soon. What's my score, by the way? Well, 1 ground building destroyed. And amounts for just 1 point. Seemed like a fairly important objective. From here, an entire enemy hangar. I see no train. Not even the wreck of a train. Where was it supposed to be? Maybe there's a station. It's an entire town, in fact. But I see no train. I wish that would surprise me more. Just fuel mixture. It's 100%. What kind of fuel mixture do you want me to set? Okay, there is indeed no train. We might as well go back to the airfield. There would be another train up north, but the likelihood of reaching it without meeting the enemy is very low. And when you meet an enemy in a fire inside of this plane, already damaged like this, probably not going to end well. So I'll just go for another pass of the airfield. We don't have, unfortunately, tank compression since we're online now. Adjust the second fuel mix. I don't know, put it on 90%. What do you want, man? The second engine, so the rightmost one, maybe wants me to enrich the mixture due to the fact that the left engine is damaged. Not badly damaged, but damaged nonetheless. First engine overheat. That's to be expected, I had to completely close the flaps. Open to 32%. It's not shaking, strangely enough. Not yet, at least. Maybe it's also a speed thing. Since I'm going slower due to the damage of the engine, I can actually open it more. We might also try and open fire with the guns this time. I guess it would look kinda cool, so I hope. Not many players started from the Zenino airport like us, only 2. Most of them are northwards. Probably there's more action there. Maybe after this sortie I'll pick a fire and go north. Here comes the airport. Open the bomb doors. You can hear the difference in the sound. It's very well made. Now that's pretty strange because I clearly remember. Yeah, they're all destroyed. The level of detail of the game actually showed me the hangars as completely fixed, while they're in fact completely destroyed. I destroyed the last one. Stuff looks important. Yeah, there's a few planes there. Something good to strafe, I guess. Still 2 instant. And like this. They're shooting me. Drop the bombs. Bombs. Let's see how it goes. Well. I should have gone from left to right. Now they're hitting me. First engine damage. Right aileron rods broken. And also now the gunner is dead. And also now the pilot is dead. And also maybe I shouldn't have made another pass. And yet I did destroy objectives. So I now have 7 points. So I guess that's all good. Also my pilot is going to be like marmalade. Completely splattered on the ground. But I did score for the team, so it's all good. Let's start from Jabinki this time. But I want a fighter. There's also the PE2. Now, tell you what, I'll keep playing with bombers since we weren't able in the last days. I'll go with the PE2, it's the one I wanted to pilot originally. This is a much faster bomber than that one. Also smaller, of course. It also has rockets. Rockets are very fun to use. It's a Soviet thing. The American planes didn't have them, I believe. Perhaps Nix would know, but I think he's no longer in the stream. Rockets range, contact, bombs, timer, default. Okay. I love this plane. It's really a fast striker. Much more so than the A20. Also, we shouldn't have to hustle so much with the radiators and such. This is one where you just point and fly it, or so I hope. Now starting the engine. Open the mixture, 100%. So let's see what engine he starts first this time. High start valve open. Ignition coils engage. The leftmost. You see, it makes more sense. You go from the left to right. Why did he do it inverted? That's a Sturmovik, by the way. The Sturmovik is more fun to pilot probably, but also way slower. Takes ages to get to the front without tank compression like this. And now the right engine is coming alive. second engine air start valve closed. Second engine ignition. Now we raise the RPMs. Should be all I need to do. If I well remember, I should be able to start at once. Takes a while to raise. Don't know why. Ah yeah, it's a little wheel. Well, two of them actually. You have to turn by hand, so that's the reason. And now let's accelerate to the max. I'm still holding brake press, but I'm releasing it now. And I guess this is a plane that takes a while, a long stretch of road to take off. So I hope I have it in front of me. It's not easy to check without an external view. Besides, these airports were very strange, like a huge empty area of land. You don't have an actual runway. Ah yeah, you actually had on this one, and it was going the other way. So let's hope for the best. I'm now going 180, 190. Hi Rick, thank you for liking my post. Now 200, taking off. Okay, everything went well, I guess. Raise the gear, and from where we are, we point left to the fortified area, I guess. Sounds more interesting. This time we'll also shoot rockets. I wish I could show you the external view from this plane. Looks very cool. It's got a shape that is quite peculiar. I also immensely enjoy this window it has below. In front, in VR it looks Arizona because you have this feeling of depth, this perception of being so high. Ah yeah, open the radiator maybe before you overheat. You see how I did right by moving the chat window and finally being able to read the engine cues. That was a big mistake from the last days I made. This also has a rear gunner and also another gunner on the side, I guess. Heading now for the railroad station, which is the friendly one, and there's another one behind. No, I said I wanted to go to the fortified area. I'd better make it through. You better not move the controls so much. It tends to stall easily. See, now we're at 250. This is probably actually faster than the Spitfire. It's kinda crazy to think about. It's such a bigger plane, but with two engines I guess it's warranted. Let's enjoy the view from back. They did improve the VR view from turrets in the last patch, but not as much as I'd like. Because when you move the gun with the mouse, actually moves your view around. It's very nausea-inducing. I better not do it. Mamma mia. It's terrible. Where it is? Ah, you also have a bottom gun, you see. It's probably maneuvered by the same guy that uses the one on the side. That apparently the player cannot use, unfortunately. Now ready for the fortified area. We're going above 300, 350. This could actually work as an high altitude fighter also. It certainly is outdone by all actual fighters in the game. But it can fight a bit against air targets due to its speed. Now of course we're losing speed because I'm trading it for altitude. And it should also have the bomb sight as the other one. Let's input the correct data just in case. Put it in auto level. Okay, we're now at maybe the actual bomb view shows it. Yeah, we're going. We will probably bomb at 300. So you set it here. Yeah, you see how the gun sight moves. Well, the bomb sight. And we will be at 1 kilometer altitude. It's like this. You also should know about the wind. Is it set here? Yeah, but I guess that was in the mission briefing, so I guess we better leave it as it is and hope for the best. Should be able to zoom this thing. This opens the bomb day, this drops the bomb. This I don't know about it. Feather, wheel direction. This is just for the view, I believe. It does nothing. It does nothing. View direction. Well, I better leave it as it is. Yeah, I guess this should be reasonably correct when you drop bombs over the actual speed and altitude. But I still rather do it by hand. It has this nice window for the purpose, just in case we set it up. A little lever over there is the trim. You actually set the trim on this plane with an electronical device. That is, if you turn off the auto level, here it is. No, I was looking at the wrong lever. This one, you see. It raises or lowers the neutral position of the controls, so the plane can keep flying straight, even when you're hands off. It's a fairly interesting plane to read about, also this one. Probably I'll write an article on it eventually. Did I say I read? I meant I write an article, yeah, on the blog. Not so far now. About halfway, I'd say, maybe a bit more. Let's hope they didn't already destroy all the targets. How's the score, by the way? Well, I'm third. After having destroyed these targets on the airport. There's also a lot more enemy players than friendlies. That's bound to be a problem. If they come and intercept me, I guess we'll go for another scenario. This one doesn't seem very advantageous. So many people against so few. That's unfair. Here comes the river. I don't know the name of this river. Let's see if it tells me on the map. That is the fine river of... Fine river of no name. No, here it is. Well, this one is Yalza river. And mine is Lochnia. And the city of Bor, which I should be able to see, yet I'm not. There's a bridge that has been apparently destroyed. The city of Bor is more to my left, to my right. Yeah, it's more like a town. There it is. And the fortified area are right after the river, more to the left. Let's open the bomb doors. Bomb doors open. Maybe it's a bit soon, I don't know. Better earlier than later, as they say. No, I close them, then open again. I'm a little eager to release my death load, you see. It says fortified area. I don't know how it's supposed to look. Probably there's ground emplacements and guns of some kinds, and that's when it's supposed to bomb. Further ahead, this way. Still I see nothing. Well, that place is somewhat strange. There might be some structures, but don't look like a town. Besides, what town would it be? There is none there. So I guess that's our target. Open the bomb base again. Yeah, that's fortification of some kind. Indeed. Let's start with the rockets, I mean. My god, that thing shoots. I just dropped my bomb and up for the best. I could have hit him. I could have hit the guy that was shooting me. Yeah, I destroyed that dugout. Watch the second engine coolant. Of course they damaged my engine. There was some crazy machine gun guy hiding among these. Just second engine. Structural breakup. Okay. Okay, this was much unexpected. They apparently had fairly good defenses. I guess I'll try another pass before the entire plane goes down, but maybe it will be difficult. So the bombing in this game is still a work in progress for me. Also, am I followed by something in there? Okay, both engines have stopped now. Where is the enemy? I might as well crash into him for good measure. Here it is. I fire rockets uselessly. There's no time to lower the... Okay. Oh, look at this. I'm still alive. Well, that's not the worst outcome. Okay. Well, it was interesting. Sorry if it bored you. Of course, when you play multiplayer, you have to fly longer stretches. Now, for the final half hour of the stream, I want to show you something different. That's another experimental idea from me. Maybe you will enjoy it or maybe not, you tell me. And if you do, we'll of course do it again. Now it's just half an hour, but we can do it for longer. I'm speaking about another great game in VR that perhaps many people overlook because they think flying civilian planes is boring. Well, it's not always boring, especially when you have a game such as this. Have you ever heard of Aerofly FS2? That's actually a flight simulation that is on cell phones. You better believe it. But not only there, and it's very well refined, and it has great VR support and some incredibly cool looking scenery, especially for the cities. So now I'll take you about the fine city of New York that looks incredibly amazing. It's probably, if I now had to show off VR to someone, I would do it with this game because it's one of the coolest things you can see in VR. Let's take off from LaGuardia with a smaller plane, I guess. It's also fast to load, it runs great, it has the Vulkan libraries, so it runs great. It's an incredibly enjoyable experience. No, I'll not take another plane from World War II. Let's go with this cool looking biplane. It's the Jungmeister. Probably it's also a World War II plane, I wouldn't know. There's several colors. Well, the white one, I guess. The game shows up correctly, I hope. Yeah, it seems so. Loading Jungmeister. You of course also read loading with a German accent. Loading. We have exactly half an hour until I have to disconnect. I guess it will be enough to tour New York in a Jungmeister. This will be like the other day when I started a space simulation planetary application, let's say Space Engine, after playing Elite. It's experimental. Whether you like it or not, you tell me. The graphic is amazing, you'll see. Probably the best reconstruction of New York I've ever seen in a game. This I'm also keeping, I could disable that. It tells you about the landmarks. Let's keep it disabled for the moment. And if I well remember, I had the external view on one of these keys. Here it is, yes, the wonderful Jungmeister. Well, let's take off. Without further ado, look at how it puts on the side. It absolutely needs a pair of pedals. Otherwise you just end up crashing off the course. And already it's taking off. Of course it's a big plane, it's got an excellent lift. And here you see the skyline of New York. You can see it even better from the external view. This has got the same fascination from the older flight simulator games. I don't know if you've seen the new episode that's coming out, that also looks incredible, because it employs some kind of swimming technology. That's what us simulation geeks have hoped for decades, to actually be able to fly in Google Earth, basically. And this isn't the same, because it's all pre-calculated, made by hand, but it actually comes close. Look at the level of detail. The ground is from satellite photographs. Maybe not the best resolution, but enough to get the idea. And you have all the actual buildings made with a painstakingly high level of detail. Also, the performance in VR is great. That's something you better not disregard when you're playing this game, because he explained that is the main competitor actually runs very, very bad. Let's activate again the bookmarks for various places. And just look at it. Here comes the bridge. Shall we fly under the bridge? What's the name of this bridge, by the way? I don't know New York that well. Not all of it in any case. I see spectators going down, so I guess this experiment has failed. But I'll play it nonetheless for a couple of minutes. Not just one spectator. And here we come. Well, it's a different kind of fun, and maybe it doesn't work for everyone. Perhaps I shouldn't have switched genre in this way. I guess next time I'll start with something more similar, at least in spirit. I'd also like to stream Euro Truck, if I have to tell you, but I'm now afraid no one would watch it. Maybe you guys enjoy the action more. There can be action. There can be action in a civilian flight scene. Look at this. You can do all sorts of things while flying above a reconstructed New York. So precise in its fidelity. Let's go towards Manhattan, the parts with taller buildings. I mean, Staten Island I see there. You can actually see the cars in the satellite images. Probably had to employ more than one photograph because it's difficult from a satellite to have a completely unobstructed view of the roads like this. You usually have some perspective effect from the buildings themselves here at Central Park. I used to land in Central Park in Flight Simulator. I did it all the time. This is the, how's it called, the avenue where they have all the high-priced buildings that they've been building recently. The entire cabin is also clickable in this plane. Something you might not know, and that's incredibly cool, is that this game actually supports hand controllers. Tell you what, I show you. They're reachable from where I am. Wait a second, I will first raise the plane a bit. And you can interact by hand with your plane. I'll get only the right hand one. Let's turn it on. And should you enjoy the fact, you can even, here is my hand, take hold of the lever and move it by hand. These are the actual end that were for Oculus controllers. But that's not all, because it wouldn't make much sense if you only were able to control the lever. You can control everything you see in the plane. You see, that's the heck rudder. I wish I knew what it was. And these, I guess, are flaps. No, that's the mixer for the engine, so I better not raise it. There are some people that actually keep the arm controller on their hand or flying, where there's not much to interact with in this smaller plane. Let's select something a bit more meaty. How did you go to the menu? Maybe ESC doesn't seem to work, strangely enough. I probably had it set. This is my head. I guess you don't wear an helmet on this kind of plane after all. If you go down, there isn't much left to do. Here we are standing at the extreme point of Manhattan. I wish I could go back to the menu. I used to do it with the controller, but now I don't remember which key it was. You can also use just the thumbstick. That's good for people that don't have an autos. Maybe it interests you. This is a game I would get, even now. Probably it's on sale. Just to experience flying above Manhattan like this, but also there are several other cities that are well made and interesting places to visit, mainly from the US. It's got a Swiss DLC. Now I can no longer open the blasted menu to go and change the plane of location. I'll try pressing all the buttons on this. This doesn't do it. Maybe you need the left controller too. It's possible. But not from there. Usually play this game more with the hand controllers, to tell you the truth. Now it's coming up. Maybe it's this button. No, this is the Steam menu. This is entire. You click. It's this. You click the button itself. You can also control the whole menu with this. Now this one has turned itself off, because why not? Okay, let's go somewhere else. I want to switch plane to something more interactive. Especially if you want to play. Look at this Minority Report shit right here. You can move everything with your hand. There's also a P-38 Lightning, but I don't know much about its pilot. Now let's go to something more familiar for civilian flight scenes. Well, no, I'd pick the bar. Yeah, let's go with the bar. And of course, the switch location. I want to show you guys. This is very, very Minority Report. You can also unzoom it, I think, by using two hands. Yeah, if only I could. No, it's not working as I would like it to. I'll do it with the mouse, otherwise we're wasting too much time. It's also not working with the mouse. I guess it will take a while to go to Switzerland like this. Can't you unzoom this thing? How was it done? I used to do it with the joystick on the side. Here it is. You have to sort of sink your hand into the map. I guess it makes sense in a way. And this is Zurich. Doesn't even cost much, this DLC. Like, I paid it 10 euros, I believe, in sale. And it's such a cool... How, Nadav? Thank you for commenting. I'd like to answer you, but I don't know what you just said. Okay, now we're inside the bar in Switzerland. Look how fast it loads. That's also a good, strong suit of this game. And it's not even on... look at this. It's not even on an SSD, mind you. Now, this is a plane where we can interact with many more things. So let's try and get more speed. It's twin engine. Look at the mountain of Switzerland. It's very cool. And you can do anything inside the cabin. This is such a cool scenery also. Now for the trim, I don't remember the key of the trim, but I can do even better. I just control it with the hands themselves. It's a little weird. You see, I'm moving the trim of the airplane with my hand. Maybe a little bit lower. And it's more immersive this way, I guess, because the controls on this plane are made like the other I was piloting before. I could use the pedals, the actual pedals, and then touch the controls with the very hand controllers. Everything is interactable. You can even... No, you cannot turn on the lights in the cabin. Why would that be cool if you could? These are used for the various instruments, autopilot. These probably work, but I better not touch them since I don't know what they do. Yeah. I believe they added this function also in DCS recently, but it doesn't work as well. This is way better, at least in my opinion. I'm sure I had a button for the trim on the joypad itself, the controller, I mean. The joystick, but I don't remember where. Oops, I touched. Well, this is another little problem. You don't have tactile feelings, so sometimes you activate controls mistakenly. I can no longer see the time. Okay, I can just raise the visor and look at it. Let's try and land somewhere, just to give a little meaning to this digression. Whether you enjoyed it or not, we better bring it to the end in a satisfying manner. I'll try and look at the map. I think the keyboard no longer works because I lost priority on the window. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, indeed. So you set your course from here. That is, if I could find the cursor. It's escaped again. I guess this Windows doesn't keep it trapped. And go, let's say you want to land at this airport here. Yeah, like this. It's also an enjoyable game if you don't know much about aviation, because it actually has many aids. Should give me, well, it should, a series of gates to pass. Seems like I lower my flaps. Yeah, I better raise them back. Good thing I have an external view while I was fumbling around the cockpit like a fool. And now we're back on track. Let's stay together with some more altitude. I'm a bit low. And about what I was saying, there should be an ad that you can activate, maybe with the hand controller. No. Keep it, no. You click the thumbstick, right, and it tells you about it. Toggle HUD is the bot, yeah. And the HUD also has the course, here it is. It's a bit oversized as an ad, because probably was made for the earlier HMDs that had a lower resolution. Shouldn't take long. The only thing I have to clear this rather high mountain. Now gaining altitude. Where's the speed? I'm below 100. Well, of course, this isn't as powerful a plane as the others I was flying earlier. I better pick up a stronger plane, otherwise it will take ages to land. Let's go for something high-powered. I have to do it above the wheel. Yeah, something military, come on. A beast of a plane. Why not this? The Air This is an Italian trainer. Jet engine. And now, of course, we're talking. It has to gather a bit more speed before I can control it. It's also nice, you see, you have the name of the various mountains, the name of the but well, we would call it down the comune in Italian, the small towns, yeah, that you have around you. I hope the course is still valid. Let's put it on external view. You can also go from the place of the copilot. Look at this, this is nice. This is the plane itself. Am I having... I believe these are the airbags. They could be open. I don't know how to close them. I just go and land. The clouds look fairly good when static, but if you turn your head, they no longer do, because they're like a cardboard cutout, actually. They move with your head. That's very disappointing when the first time you see it. Let's go back in cabin. And I hope I'm heading the right way. Let me check it again with the thumbstick. That's not very practical. I'll have to look into the controls. Navigation. Yeah, well, it was farther than I thought, but still reachable, I guess, in the time so that we have left. Go back. I'm using the left hand with the right hand. How's that? For VR flexibility. Remove this HUD, I don't need it. I don't need the HUD. That necessity is an illusion. No, not like this. Not like this either. Excuse me, I haven't played in a while. Yeah, you do like this, then press like this, then press like this. Okay. As I said, when you select an objective, it actually should appear as gates. You can fly through. Here they are. Here they are. It was a bit of course. Now I see them. The main thing that's so immersive in this game is the performance. You have no idea how well it runs until you've tried all the various flight simulators. There's nothing that even comes close to this absolute fluidity. I should have... I no longer have the... No, unfortunately disabled itself. I would like to look at the diagnostics. But this is much less taxing to the PC, and especially the CPU, due to the Vulkan libraries it employs. I believe it's the first VR Vulkan games. There shouldn't be other. And it runs perfect. It's full... Now I'm probably running it at 90 frames per second, which is awesome considering I'm also streaming. But you can easily go above with an headset such as this. The index goes to 144 Hz. I don't use it for streaming. But if you set it at 144 Hz, you can actually run this game at 144 Hz with a fairly powerful PC. That is not something you can do with any other flight simulation games. These are very intensive and not like Beat Saber, you see. And that's probably the most important thing for immersion right now. Look at the name of the mountains. Pizzogualum, Luzzo Mutascio, Dosso Mutascio. That's quite a name. I guess we're in the Italian part of Switzerland. Well, this texture looks like shit. I don't know why it does. Probably a problem with the actual satellite, because it was so good up to here, then it sucks. That's very, very disappointing. We better not look too much at it. It's just this mountain, mind you. They become good again after the mountain. This has also a dynamic zoom, I believe. That you should be able to activate, I believe, with this key. No. No, I'm thinking of explain now. No, I don't know if it has it. In any case, I don't know how to use it. Switzerland is such an interesting landscape to fly above. I also have my lights turned on. Well, I better. Doesn't matter. Shall we fly in a more dangerous way? This is a gaming stream after all. We're not true aviators. Let's go down in the trench. Like World War II. I'm starting to see German names. Perhaps we're in the northern canton. How's it said in English? We say cantone of Switzerland. Snowy peaks all about. Completely barren, by the way. No sign of life. I better start slowing down. I guess the airport is not that far. It's not easy landing in a jet between the mountains. Probably not even possible in truth. But as I said, we're still gamers in the end. Have a lot of views. The ending is fairly realistic, but probably not as much as explained. This is the co-pilot seat. I've had fairly zen-like moments of playing this game, where you switch to the co-pilot seats, you pretend someone else is flying, and you just listen to your music while flying towards a destination. It feels like you're really there, very immersive. Especially if you close your eyes for like 10-50 seconds, then suddenly, like coming awake and you're above the clouds, you can fool your brain into thinking you're really there for a second or two. VR tends to give you moments like that. Now the gates for the route actually would like me to go inside the mountain. I guess I better not follow such instinct. Pizzetuern. That's another strange name. No, it's got the umlaut, so maybe it's Pizzetuern or something like that. Lèche de Silva Plana. And now for the final approach among the mountains of Switzerland. These are very small towns. Imagine how cool they must be in real life. Right, it is among the mountains with the lake. Let's lower the flaps and the gear. I'm a bit fast, tell you the truth. Where's the speed in this thing? It was completely silent when you close. Maybe I should raise the volume a bit. Where's the speed? I ask again. I cannot see it. I actually cannot find it because that's altimeter. That should be the speed. Yeah, it's written in knots. Why doesn't it change then? Is it bugged? Cannot be going at the same speed after all these turns. Trying to slow down for as fast as I can because you see I don't remember the air brake. It would suck to crash our plane in the final part of the stream. We're now above St. Moritz. I know this place. So this is St. Moritz. Actual satellite photograph, mind you. Lowering now the gears. The gear isn't lowering. That's bound to be a problem. Yeah, indeed it is. Maybe it's... No, I'll have to go and check it. No, that's what happened. I'm again losing focus on the window. Let's hope it fixed. No, I didn't. That's a huge problem. Now I'm focusing on the window. Lower the blaster gear. Yeah, I did. Good Air Maki. I love you, Air Maki. A bit fast, maybe. Let's hope for the best. I also don't remember where I had set the wheel brakes. That's also not a big problem. Let's hope it actually brakes with the pedals themselves. And touchdown maybe a bit early because the track is so short. Also the trademark bounce from all my streams. I seem to be still unable to land properly. Yeah, it's definitely too short a runway for this plane. We're going to die. We're going to die if I land. There is absolutely no hope of landing here. Well, maybe there is some hope. I will try it. I will try it before disconnect. Let's go around and try again. We have another 5 minutes. While hoping, of course, I don't stall and die in any case. Now full speed. The mountain could be a little problem. I guess squirrels are already running this way and that from these trees in fear. The thundering air maki. Now I'm very slow, I guess. Maybe I will be able to land it. Also completely off center, but that's typical of my stream too. I'm not the best aviator. I get the job done. And that tends to be enough in war, so no, let's pretend this is also the famous war of Switzerland of 2020. Or rather, later, 2019. At least there are no trees on this side. Brake this thing. I'm pressing the brakes. It's not seen to braking. Press B also. Press W. I don't know what key is going to get it done. We're running out of the runway. We definitely are. No, maybe not. Put it a bit sideways. Initial D music plays once again. Okay, we're safe and sound in the fine city of St. Moritz. I guess it's time to go skiing, but this is we're in season. And this also concludes the flying part and the entire stream, I guess. So, again, thank you for being here this morning. On this fine Monday morning. I guess it's fine for us since we are working at the moment. It was a pleasure having you. I'll be back playing in about 5 hours, and I think I'll play something different. I was thinking about going to track simulation. I would like to make it an habit. Play flying games in the morning, driving games in the afternoon. Of course, the only driving games I haven't shown you guys yet is the one where you drive the truck. It can be more interesting than you probably think. That is, unless you play it. It's a very popular game. In fact, always making the top rank in the most played on Steam, and also very much watched for streamers because it's such a good occasion to speak about all the highs and lows of life. I don't know if I'll be up to the task, but I'll try. It's another experiment for me, I guess. Then, if you don't like it, I guess we'll go back to driving race cars. Could even do it during the stream. In any case, for now, have a fine rest of the morning. Thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe the page if you feel like it. And see you soon. Ciao from Italy.